Hi everyone, it's Heidi from Flutter by Heidi, and I'm Heidi Smith, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United Kingdom. And today I'm on Christmas cards, and you know me, I like to make a Christmas card that's a little bit different, but that is easily repeatable as well. And the Joyful Holly Bundle does just that. It's absolutely beautiful. 2 sizes of holly leaf, 2 sprigs, 2 infills, 2 sentiments and some berries. Really lovely to work with. Photopolymer, so it makes it really easy to line up as well. And this is the card I've come up with. So again, very simple. You've just got a slightly trimmed top tent fold, a little bit of stamping down the side to give it a bit of interest, and some simple die cutting. Now you could obviously use I've used punches, but you could obviously use other things, and you could then add some sprinkles, or you could have some glitter, or you could heat emboss if you wanted to. But I've kept it really quick and easy, so it's easily repeatable if you're making in bulk. Okay, so other things you're going to need: photopolymer stamp set, so stamping pierce mat, bit of scrap paper as well. So let's get started. Oh, and ink. I've used shaded spruce and real red, very traditional classic Christmas colours. So just half a sheet of shaded spruce and half a sheet of whisper white, and just some scraps of white and red. So I've made it there with the shaded spruce base, so I thought we'll just swap it up a bit and make it with a real red base, so you can have a look at what it looks like when you've done that. I've cut this down to 10.5 centimetres, so half a UK A4 sheet, and I'm going to then trim that down to 29 centimetres and score at 14.5. Now, what I'm going to do is just line this up at 1 centimetre, so about 3/8 of an inch, and decide which is going to be your front panel. I'm just going to work on the top one. I'm just going to cut from that score line up to the top. I'm going to turn it around, and you've got a choice. You can either, I'm measuring using the right hand side, so you can, if you want to, flip it over. I'm just going to turn it. You probably can't quite see, but I'm lining it up at the bottom. And I'm just going to cut from that score line to the bottom. So I've got 2 little flaps here. The other pieces of card I've got, for the back, I've got a piece that is 10 by 14 centimetres. And I've got a front piece which is 8 by 14 centimetres. So because that central panel is 8.5 centimetres. So once you've done that, just grab your snips and just trim away on that score line, and then fold that down and just reinforce that crease with your bone folder, or not. Obviously here, just be careful on your score line. I'm just going to go in and just trim that back a little bit more. Okay, so there's your card base. Now we can do some stamping. So first of all, I'm going to take my back panel, and I'm just going to use, it doesn't matter which leaf you use. I'm using the slightly smaller one of the 2 and some shaded spruce ink. And I'm just going to stamp down the edge. I'm not sort of even inking up my whole stamp, I'm just inking up just the edge, because you're just going to get that little border appearing. And again, I'm not, on this one, you could go in and colour your holly berries if you wanted to. But again, you don't need to, if it's just going to create that little pattern on the edge there. So that can go to one side. My next panel, I'm actually going to turn it around to show you how I did this. So I just inked up my large stamp, and I just came to each edge and turned it around. So I kind of almost have interleaved those. So you can see that. Turn it around again and it fits just in there. And you see, just creates a really sort of perfect interleaving and then add in the extra one there. So that's our outline image. And for my infill, so using the solid stamp, and I'm stamping off on this, and I found it's the easiest to kind of stand over it and just line up one end and probably something in the middle, and that seemed to work quite well for me. Just matching up once you'd matched up a couple of leaves by hovering over the top, it was quite easy to come in, and the others just lined up. But again, it's kind of sketchy, so if it goes overlap slightly, it really doesn't matter at all. It will still look absolutely beautiful. Oh, actually, that one I haven't even... There we go. Come back in. Okay. So I've done my leaves. Now I'm going to take my little berry. Things to note with this: photopolymer stamps do stain. Certain colours, particularly the reds, will stain your photopolymer stamps. It does not stop them working. It's a sign of a well-loved stamp, and honestly, don't worry about it. We used to do a stamp cleaner that took off some of the colour, but honestly, you know, it doesn't make any difference. So all I'm doing is using some real red here and just coming in on those, and you just, again, line up the 3 and the 1. And you can do that as much or as little as you wanted. I mean, another alternative with this is that you could heat emboss it. So you could come in and heat emboss those berries, or you could obviously you could colour them in. You could use some glossy fine tip glue to create a glossy sort of feel if you wanted to afterwards. So there's lots of ways you could kind of step this card up if you wanted to. As I say, I've just really kept it pared down to get those to get the speed up, really. So I'm going to pop that to one side, get rid of my scrap paper, and I'm just going to stamp my sentiment, and I'm still going to do that in the red, actually. Let's have a look. Just pop that in there. And then just come in with your 2-inch punch. Just centre that. Then my scrap of shaded spruce, which I had a moment ago. Okay, shaded spruce scrap has decided to go walkabout. Fortunately, I have lots of scraps here, so this is how I just keep all my scraps of card in with my main one, and I come in with 2 1/4-inch punch and just punch that out. Okay, so once you've done that, it is purely a job of assembling it and adding any embellishments that you want. So I'm going to use my Tombow for this. You could use your Stampin' Seal for it if you wanted to. Okay. And certainly Stampin' Seal is great. So it's the paler blue one, if you recall. And you're going to add your front panel. And I have doing a rubbish job there, aren't I? Right. Just add that to the front and that gives you just a border all the way around of a couple of millimetres. Just try and get that straight, like so. Add this to the inside, and then this obviously then means that your card actually, because it's got this extra layer of whisper white on both the front and on the inside, it will stand up really nicely. Okay. And I'm going to grab a couple of dimensionals. not forgetting to use your outside bits as well. So always a good idea to keep those sheets and cut off those little bits. And decide where you're going to put that. Now, if you've got a bit that hasn't quite worked as well, you could put it right in the middle, or you could put it right at the bottom. So I'm going to pop it right in the middle of this one. I've got my rhinestone basic jewels here, and you can see, just going to pop, I've got a couple of spare ones here, and I think those will make quite a difference actually, just to sparkle that up a little bit. Obviously you could colour these in red if you wanted to as well, if you wanted to add a bit, but there we go, odd number, always looks good. There's our other one in shaded spruce, so we'll sparkle that up a little bit now. Again, these are my old ones, so as you can see I'm using a mixture of old and new, but there we have a pair of very quick joyful holly cards, perfect for Christmas card making. And if you'd like to purchase this stamp set or anything else, just pop along to my Stampin' Up shop at heidismith.stampinup.net, or to my blog, and you'll find the links to all of the products there, and that's flutterbyheidi.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Pop back and see me again soon, and subscribe to my channel or to my blog to get notified when I post my next little sharing. Thanks for watching. Bye.